Hello everybody, the Bears are back at it again, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better how we had hoped previously. Well, thank you for joining me today, and do subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell for all of the latest cryptocurrency news. So what is going on? Well, we've looked at the charts for the past couple of days, and looking at them today, it's not getting any better. We definitely, as we had said just the other day, that it needs to start making a move in the next couple of days if we want to get out of it. Well, unfortunately, that hasn't been the case, and it's taken a turn for the worse. There is a frenzy going on. So looking at Bitcoin's sitting today $41,700, sitting not good at all. As a matter of fact, it's actually horrible. So it was starting to move sideways a little bit. But we're looking at the end of December. And it's what we have. So it started to bounce and play around with these lines right here. However, it started to move January the 3rd and just kind of continuing following. And then yesterday, it started to play with it. When today it started to come up, but it just could not make that move. The moving averages are separating further and further down the line, and I still believe it's going to dip down. We're definitely going to hit 40,000. I am pretty sure we're going to hit 40, possibly 37. There is even potential to go down to 35 before we see it pick up by midsummer. This is the pretty bad thing that's going on. If we look at the weekly for Bitcoin, right now the weekly is just horrible. It's just a complete crash. It looks like we're in it exactly as a crash. But when we're looking at some of the other coins, we're going to have the same thing going on too. It looks like the entire market, honestly, is just completely hemorrhaging out. It is falling. It's falling. Ethereum is just a downward slide as well, still moving in. We had this point, the 4th, where we got really close to actually kind of reversing this thing and really coming up, but it was that moment. We didn't even get to the point where it was retesting the support line that we had. We couldn't even get to that point. So when we're looking at December here, at the end of December, and it came back and retested like we were just talking about the other day, that's where that moment of importance really came in. We even have this wonderful head and shoulders pattern right here. It kind of gave us that warning. But typically when it came up to here, it should have made that movement. But coming in, and it showed really good signs. However, and then of course the 27th and the 28th, it just dipped down, and it's continuing down that path. So the head and shoulders thing right here is pretty evident that this is our warning point. But Ethereum is sitting at 3,100, a big sad moment, considering that back here in November was the beginning of November. It was around 48, almost 4,900 bucks. So this is a big drop when we're coming down. Of course, we haven't had that in quite some time, such a drop, unless it was back in May. If we're speaking about as far as Ethereum, back in May we had a pretty big deep down climb, but we've seen some positive things coming up after that. However, it's not the case right now. I think Ethereum's going to follow suit with Granddaddy Bitcoin, but we can only see where it goes from now. So it's definitely strong signs of the bear market is going to continue at least for the next week. In the other coins, what we're speaking about today, we also have Matic. Matic's starting to kind of pick back up, but it's still in that downward slate too, with not any signs of really clearing up. It fought really hard when we're speaking like today. It was fighting really hard for that, but it still didn't make up for what we had lost then, yesterday. But it does have the potential to come back up again too, but it's still just not strong enough. The volume is very, very low, and it's that time. Of course, it's following on throughout. The same thing, another sad moment. AVAX sitting at 84 bucks, also down. We also have that pattern too, following along the same. And it's just horrendous, completely crying my eyes out right now. But the experienced investors right now are used to this, so it's nothing too bad. We just don't want to see it really fall below, especially when we're speaking about AVAX. We don't want to see it fall below 78. So it was right here at 83. We talked about this too, that it could potentially go back down, but we don't want it to go to about 78, 75. That is pretty bad. We don't want it to make anything lower than that. Where unfortunately it's going to be hard to recover back up. But I think it is just due to the following of Bitcoin. So this is what we have right now. We just hold on, be careful, but the entire market is in double digits. It is definitely falling. Looking at the market today, Bitcoin 41,657 is the price, 1166 for the week in the red, 0.40% for the 24-hour period. Ethereum, of course, 17.05% for the weekly, 2.5% for the daily. We have Solana down by 3.12 for the daily and down by 20% for the weekly as well. Cardano, no surprise, we're pretty used to the same thing at 14.22% for the weekly and 5.15% for the daily. Still pretty bad. XRP's down by 11.5 for the weekly, 2.27 down for the daily. Terra Luna's up for the day. It's one good plus by almost 4.5 for the daily, but still down by 18.30% for the weekly. AVAX 26.45 down for the weekly, so it's pretty bad. And down by 2 and 24. I'm sorry, it just changed. 1.87% for the daily. Not the greatest. Now, Polygon is down almost by 20% for the weekly and 3.32% for the daily as well. What else do we have? Uniswap is down by 9.40% for the weekly, 0.34 for the daily as well. Protocol's even down by 8.17% for the day. It is all just absolutely horrible. Phantom is down. Almost all of the top 20 coins are almost in double digits in the negative, except for Chainlink, right? So Chainlink's actually doing pretty good for the weekly. It is one coin that is definitely doing, but the rest of them are like double digits down. And so the only thing we can really see is in the next like 3 or 4 days, we definitely need to see a change. We need to see this volume really kind of pick back up before it really moves in. But it's a typical situation, honestly, especially when you see Bitcoin dip down so hard, and then you also have the complete total crypto China ban. So that's a big player into it. But it should correct itself here in the next couple of days. It's just typical news, like the Omicron situation. Everything else does play off in this news. So it's just, I guess you can call it market manipulation, however you want to call it. But right now, everybody's sweating bullets. They're freaking out, totally prepared for it to hit bottom, but I don't think it's there just yet. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me. Subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell, and I will see you guys next time.